What's up, everybody? Thank you for clicking on the link. Good evening, or should I say good night. I hope everybody has had a great week. It's been a week since I have spoken to you guys. So much has gone on this week, so much news, celebrity, political, and otherwise, and I just wanted to come here tonight and do a mental dump because I have such a good time doing it. I always feel like I've released some of these things that I've been thinking about over the week, and I just wanted to share my thoughts with you guys, and hopefully you'll share your thoughts with me in the comment section of this video. This video is going to basically be another blog tidbits where I just give my spin or perspective on the things that have happened during the week, like I said, because there's so much stuff. I'm sure I can't hit everything, and I did not try to take notes on everything, but what I am going to do is I'm going to be pulling up an article as we talk about, or as I talk about it, because I like to have the facts right in front of me when I discuss things. Also, this video is going to be first of all, going to be a quick review of the Tupac movie, All Eyez on Me, which premiered here in the capital city last night, and I did go see it, and I just wanted to share my brief thoughts on the video. So without further ado, in honor of Tupac, here we go for a minute. Let me tell y'all, in 1996, this is what I would ride down the highway with, bumping in my car. In 96, I was young and doing my thing. I was real young. And I'd be riding down the street listening to Tupac's 2-disc album. And somebody stole my tapes from me. Yeah, it was a tape then. This was like in 97, 98, and this was what I would be bumping to. All right? In my candy apple red Grand Am. All right? All right, I'm gonna turn that down a little bit. I just had to do a little prelude to this video right here. Well, anyway, so last night I go to see All Eyez on Me, of course. And I guess I should start with the characters, the casting of the characters. Let's start with Tupac. The guy that was cast to play Tupac, his name, of course, is Demetrius Shipp Jr. We all have seen him. We know he looks a lot like Tupac. Of course, he's not identical. Of course, because people like me who was really into Tupac and his music back in the day, when I look at him, we're going to always find some differences. But he's very similar, and I think they did a good job with him. I don't think they could have gotten any closer to finding anybody that looked more like Tupac than this guy. So they did a good job with him. They did a really good job with him. The lady that played his mother, Afeni Shakur, her name is Denai Guerra. She was good in the role. She played his mother well as well. Yeah, she did a pretty good job. And she's a good actress too. She did a good job of kind of conveying that downtrodden Afeni Shakur at the point of her life when she was after her post Black Panther days. She did a really good job of conveying the attitude and the, I guess, what I believe was depression of Afeni Shakur in her lifetime. The girl that played Jada Pinkett, Cat Graham. I guess you could say that she kind of favored her. She could put you to mind of Jada Pinkett, but I don't think they had her dressed and styled right. Because the pictures that I seen, we've seen a lot of pictures of Tupac with Jada Pinkett, and Jada Pinkett hair was always in that flying away bird look. I mean, her bangs would be flying out this way. Typical early 90s. She was broke then, and so, I don't think the way they styled this girl in the movie really made a good impression. Plus, I heard Jada Pinkett was kind of upset about the movie. She said it was not an accurate depiction of her and Tupac's relationship, but I'll get into that later, what I believe she meant by that. But yeah, this girl, she would have been good had they styled her correctly. All right. The girl that played Kidada Jones, who is Quincy Jones' oldest daughter. I did not know Tupac was engaged to her. I had never heard of this girl back when Tupac was alive and doing his thing. I didn't know he was engaged to no Kidada Jones. But anyway, the girl that played her, if I remember correctly, Quincy Jones' daughters look more white than they do black, Kidada and Rashida. Matter of fact, the only thing that's really black about them is their name. But this girl that played Kidada was more ethnic. She was obviously a black girl that's probably biracial. She's probably half white. She's got long hair and she's light skinned, but she's more tanned. So to me, this girl in the movie looked more black than the real Kidada Jones. But anyway, whatever. You know how they do with these movies sometimes. Hill Harper played the interviewer, the journalist that interviewed Tupac in 1995 when he was in prison. He did a pretty good job in that role. He didn't really look like the guy, but he did, like I said, he did do a good job. Let's see. The guy that played his manager, which I knew nothing about his manager, Atron. I think his name was Atron. Yeah, Atron, the guy, Keith Robertson, you know, he's the guy that plays on Saints and Sinners. He plays Miles on that, real cute guy. All I know is with that curl he had and them glasses on, he reminded me of the manager for New Edition when they first got started. But I never knew anything about him, but he was pretty good in his role. I don't know much about him, so I can't say whether he was good or not in the role. Let's see. The dude that played Biggie was the same guy that played him on the movie, Jamal Woodard. He was about the same thing. To me, they could have got a better Biggie, but he did okay. He served his purpose. The movie wasn't about him, so he was good enough. Okay? The dude that played Suge Knight, his name is Dominic Santana. To me, he made a better Suge Knight than the guy that they used in the Michelet movie about Dr. Dre, the guy that played Suge Knight. He was okay in that movie, but this guy, to me, looked way more like Suge Knight. Now, he didn't talk like Suge Knight. This guy had a deeper voice. But Suge Knight has a very high voice. He has sort of a cartoonish type voice for him to be over 6 feet tall and weighing over 300 and something pounds. But this guy did look a lot like him, especially when he had shades on. Corey Hardick, the one that's married to, is it Tamara Maurer? He's married to one of them twins from Sister Sister, and he played the guy Nigel that Tupac had befriended or hooked up with at some point in his career before he got with Death Row. He played a criminal type role. He was I don't know if he was a gangster, drug, Nino Brown type character. You know, he plays a lot of these characters on these movies lately. He's really good at it for some reason. But he played on there. He was good, but I don't know who Nigel was. I had never heard of him when Tupac was alive and well, so I can't say whether he was good or not. Let's see who else was on there that was really important. Let's see. The girl that played Faith Evans. I mean, she had a blonde wig and she was really light-skinned, but I guess that could have went either way. They showed Faith Evans briefly in the movie, and the girl that played her was so-so. Her name is Grace Gibson. I guess she did all right for a brief type of cameo type situation, just to let you know that Tupac did have an association with her. She was okay. Let's see. And I'm just picking out the people that really matter. The guy that played Snoop Dogg, his name was, let's see if I can find him. Y'all bear with me here. I'm looking through IMDb for these people's name. The guy that played Snoop Dogg, you gonna holler if you ain't never seen the movie. You might bust out laughing because what they did on here was they actually took a guy. His name is Jared Ellis. He looked nothing like Snoop Dogg. He had this big microphone afro like Snoop Dogg used to wear, but he looked nothing like Snoop Dogg. This guy that played Snoop Dogg he was kind of tall, but not as tall as Snoop. But he was sort of goofy looking. And we know Snoop Dogg has never been goofy looking. He's always been laid back and, you know, had that look about him. This dude was sort of kind of, y'all let me turn this off. This dude was kind of goofy looking. And it'll make you laugh when you see him. And he did his best to try to portray Snoop's mannerism. But I'm going to tell you what they did. They used Snoop's real voice. I don't care what nobody say. This guy in this movie was lip syncing because he talked exactly like Snoop Dogg, and you did not really see his lips match up to what you were hearing. If you close your eyes, you would have thought it was Snoop Dogg. I do believe Snoop recorded the words in the script, but this dude here was just really lip syncing them. So they did do that because the dude, I don't know, like I said, this guy was a little goofy. I laughed when I first saw him. Matter of fact, everybody in the theater laughed when they saw him. I was like, you knew he was supposed to be Snoop. It was very funny. So yeah, they could have done a little bit better with the Snoop now, but they did use Snoop's real voice. All right, I think they did anyway. Nobody told me that, but I believe they did. So yeah, that was the casting. The casting could have been better, but they did as good as they could do with Tupac. I think they hit it dead on the head, you know, as far as I'm concerned. And the guy, he did okay portraying Tupac. Tupac was sort of animated. Tupac did a lot of interviews, and Tupac was always, well, most of the time, he was very, like I said, animated and kind of, he was, when he spoke, because he was very wordy, Tupac was very smart. You know, Tupac was somewhat of a poet, had been a poet. And he, when he spoke, he always spoke, projected when he spoke, and he was just a little bit, like I said, a little bit animated. So he was like, the guy on the movie was like that sometimes, but he wasn't consistent in that. But like I said, he did okay. He did okay. You know, he did okay. There's only one Tupac. It's hard to portray Tupac, okay? But anyway, the movie itself. Okay. To me, if I had to give it a word or two to describe it, I would say incomplete and somewhat weak. But it wasn't a bad movie. So y'all should go see it. Please go see the movie. Because like I said, I wanted to see it on the big screen. And to me, it was worth the money that we paid to go see it. So please go see it. It was not a bad movie. I think that there were a lot of holes in the script because we know Tupac, even though his career was kind of short because he died at only the age of 25, but he had about a 6 or 7 year career starting with Digital Underground. But Tupac did a lot of things. He was involved in a lot of stuff. He did a lot of interviews. And so it just, when you watch the movie, they show you the events that happened in his life, but they didn't spend any time developing the storyline. It was like 2 hours, but I think they could have better utilized that time to develop the story and to develop who he was, to give us a sense of who Tupac was. Like I said, it wasn't a bad movie. It was a good movie. And I enjoyed every minute of it. It even made me emotional a lot of times because it took me back to the 90s when I was in high school, and especially the part where he was killed at the end. You know, that really hit me because I remembered how I felt then, and I don't think I'm completely over that to this day. To me, that's still a mystery. But the overall movie, like I said, it left a lot to be desired. I don't know if the producer and directors actually studied. The director was Benny Boone. The writer was a guy named Jeremy Haft. And I felt like it just didn't seem like they spent a lot of time really studying. And I could be totally wrong because I heard this movie had been in the making for a couple of years. But it was not like Straight Outta Compton. Straight Outta Compton was a much more well-made movie. They put a lot of thought into it, whether all the details were true or not. It was still a better made movie. All Eyez on Me, like I said, was not a bad movie, but it could have been a little bit more detailed. They almost kind of made Tupac look weak, and now that could have been the real Tupac. If y'all remember back when Tupac was alive and well, in his heyday, the media always tried to portray Tupac as this gangster thug, somebody to be feared, somebody that the government and that people needed to be concerned about. But of course, in the movie, they showed some true aspects about him, and he was not really that way. I think Tupac's downward spiral really began to happen when he met up with the Nigel character right before Death Row, and it got worse. He sunk deeper and deeper into a dark place, or a sunken place, when he hooked up with Death Row, because we all know what Suge Knight was all about. I have never really heard a good word about Suge Knight when it comes down to that industry. So you know how that went. So he spent about 8 months with Death Row. It was only 8 months. And they just kind of made it look like a lot of things were surrounding his time with Death Row, which was only 8 months before he was killed. Yeah, and they didn't spend enough time on the dialogue between him and Jada Pinkett. They could have developed their relationship, because from my understanding, him and Jada Pinkett were really, 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 really extremely close, but they just showed it like they were just really, they were good friends, and she popped in and out. And Jada herself, from what I heard lately today, that she complained she did not like the way they depicted her and Tupac's relationship. And I'm wondering if she's saying that if she wanted it to show a more romantic aspect, because we don't know what went on between them romantically. We can only assume that, but they only hinted at that in the movie. So I don't know if she just didn't feel like they depicted it accurately, and they didn't. I can only imagine, because Jada Pinkett did some interviews about him, and he did interviews, and he said practically she was his heart. He said out of his own mouth that Jada Pinkett was his heart. He loved Jada Pinkett. Now, they showed that in the movie, but they did not, like I said, they didn't spend a lot of time developing the dialogue between the two. They kind of made up a lot of the dialogue that they had, when all they had to do was really study the interviews that he had and the interviews she had, and they could have come up with something a whole lot more in-depth and better than that, because she was a very big part of Tupac's life. They went to high school together. They were in the some performing arts class together. And so I think they slacked up on that part. They slacked on, they would jump and they would show you the events in his life when he got beat up by these guys. When he accused Biggie because of Biggie's song "Who Shot You," he thought Biggie had something to do with the time he was shot 5 times, and but they didn't spend any time developing what led up to that, or what the circumstances surrounding it, with the time when the girl accused him of rape, which according to the movie was a lie. The time when the 6-year-old child got shot in Tupac's life. When he got in that fight, somebody else shot, which was not his fault, but he wound up going to prison for like 18 months or so for that. They just showed you what happened, but they didn't show you any circumstances or events surrounding it. So like I said, there were a lot of holes in the movie. It was not a bad movie. It was a good movie. I enjoyed it. I'm glad I watched it. I do not regret spending that money on it, but they could have given me more. I was expecting a whole lot more. I expected it to be a lot harder than what it was, or a lot more in depth than what it was. That's all I'm saying. I just felt like they could have given me more. And from what I heard, John Singleton is going to be working on a version himself. Now that scares me, because I heard John Singleton wanted to put some things in there that nobody cares to know about, or it shouldn't even be a part of the script, about Tupac being raped in prison or something. But Tupac said that never happened. But John Singleton said it did. I don't know why he feels like that's important to even put it, if it did happen, why it needs to be in the script. I don't understand that, and so I'm concerned about that. I don't want to know. I don't want to see that. I just don't want to see that. But whatever. I think that whoever, if he does do another version of it, he needs to spend a lot of time, like I heard some other critiquers say, talking to family members and friends that knew Tupac, and they would get a lot more out of it, so they can actually spend a lot more time developing or telling us who Tupac the man was and about his career. Okay, so anyway, that is my overall. I'm gonna stop right there, because I don't want to tell too much. Most people know a lot about the role. Like I said, his mother, the lady that played his mother, she did a good job playing his mother. They show how she went from being this powerful Black Panther, and she was pregnant with him in prison. She got out, and how her demise into drugs, and how she married or hooked up with this man that he called his stepfather, his sister's dad. And that man, as a Black Panther, he wound up going to prison. And Tupac's relationship with him, they show briefly that. They show how his mother was supposed to be real strong, and she always encouraged Tupac to be an activist, to be strong and to speak up for justice, because she hated the government, the man. She hated the man, you know, the system of government that we live under. So I think she did a good job. What else? The movie, it almost made it seem like from the time Tupac was born, because of who his mother was, or from the time he started speaking out when he became a teenager, that he became a marked man then. because everybody knew who his mom was. Everybody knew her association with the Black Panther. So it's almost like he was a marked man. Not only was the government eyeballing him, but the people that he thought were his friends, like Suge Knight, the people around him were his enemies as well. So it was, like I said, it was very interesting. And I think everybody who experienced the Tupac Biggie era needs to see this movie. Go see it. And I'd be interested to hear what your commentary is. So please put it in the box down below. In the comment section below. And let me know if you've seen it, what you thought of it. Okay, because I just want to know what other people thought. Okay. Moving right along to the blog conversation. It's just so much stuff. I don't even know where to start. I'm thinking, let's start with probably Steve Harvey. What happened with Steve Harvey earlier this week? Well, we know that Steve Harvey, and y'all bear with me because I have to pull the story up. Let's see. We know that Steve Harvey was a little upset because he is a Cavaliers LeBron fan. And of course, the Cavaliers lost the finals to the Golden State Warriors. Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, and them put a whooping on LeBron James last week. And so obviously the Steve Harvey show was getting some calls from some people. And a guy called in who was a resident of Flint, Michigan. And he was having a discussion / argument or debate with Steve Harvey about the Cavaliers not really deserving to win the finals, which they didn't, because the one that deserved it won it because they actually played to win. They fought for it. So the one who won deserved it, right? Let me read this brief article on Twitter about what Steve Harvey did, because Steve Harvey got in his feelings with his sensitive self. Anybody knows most comedians, I am slightly a comedian myself, and I know we can be real sensitive, but Steve Harvey is so sensitive. When he gets upset, when something makes him mad, he'll hit below the belt. And if y'all don't know what he did, just listen to this article. It says, Steve Harvey is facing some serious backlash for comments that he made about the Flint water crisis on his morning radio show after the Cleveland Cavaliers lost in Game 5 of the NBA Finals to the Golden State Warriors. Steve, who is a Cleveland fan, took a call from a man who said he was from Flint, who told Steve that Cleveland didn't deserve Jack. That's when Steve decided to go for the gut and made a distasteful joke about the caller's lack of clean water due to the Flint water crisis. A listener recorded the aftermath of the conversation right after Steve's initial joke, but it didn't stop there. His co-host can be heard trying to get Steve back on track, but he doubled down on the offense and made one last dig at the man. And when they questioned him about it, Steve Harvey's response was, I wasn't talking about the city of Flint. He said, I was talking about him. That's what he told Shirley Strawberry and them when they was like, Steve, what are you doing? So he continued on to say, he gonna call in and say Cleveland don't deserve Jack, and he over there bathing in all that silver water. Because we all know that the Flint water crisis is still going on. Those people are still using bottled water. They're still not able to take baths in their own house or get clean water. People have died from diseases from this bad water. Children are sick because of drinking this dirty water in Flint, Michigan. I mean, they really got a crisis going on up there. And Steve Harvey, anyway, let me keep going. And so his comment was, this man gonna say Cleveland don't deserve Jack, and he over there bathing in all that silver water. The caller was still on the line at this point. I guess Steve thought he had hung up, but the man was still on the phone and told Steve that his name was D from Flint Town. So before taking the next caller, Steve told the caller there was one more thing. And the caller said, go ahead, man. He said, this is what Steve said, enjoy your nice brown glass of water. Now, all this time when he said this, because I heard the recording, Shirley Strawberry was like, Steve, don't say that. You need to apologize. And she was trying to cover for him and get him to take back what he said. But Steve refused to take it back. He refused to apologize. Now, Steve, we know that ever since he started working with Donald Trump, the black community pretty much done canceled Steve out anyway. But this just goes to show you that the type of person that he's become. And I just want to speak on his comment, because since then he has tried to come back. He hasn't apologized. He's not going to apologize like he did when he joked on Oriental men, calling Oriental men unattractive and everything. Now, he apologized to them real quick, but he ain't going to apologize for what he said about these poor people dealing with this water crisis in Flint, Michigan. Let me say this. I know we are living in a very hypersensitive society today. We are. We're living in a society where you got to watch what you say, because everybody's sensitive about everything. And I know Steve Harvey, being a comedian, it was a joke to him. You know, it was a joke. I get it. Because if he was on stage joking, you know. The only thing I'm going to say, I can't say whether he was right or wrong for what he said, but I do believe that what he said was in poor taste. It showed how low class Steve can be. What he said about them people's water, that's one of those things you don't say on the air in front of millions of listeners. That's one of them things you say if you at home and you got a bunch of people over for a party watching the finals and everything, and you got some people that live in Flint that then came to your house and visited and y'all arguing over the game. That's stuff you say in the privacy of your own home amongst each other. But to get on national TV, not national TV, but on national syndicated radio and say what Steve said was in poor taste. It was just in poor taste. I mean, what he said don't change nothing. It don't make or break the man in Flint. It don't change what the man going through. It don't make it worse or nothing. But it was definitely in poor taste, because this man is actually dealing with it. In my opinion, Steve hit below the belt. I come from an era where people joked on each other. We used to, your mama jokes. So we're accustomed to people joking on people and hitting low. But the joke that Steve made about Flint, Michigan and the water crisis with this man is something that's affecting everybody. It's something that's still going on. It'd be different if it was something that had been rectified 5 years ago. Yeah, you can joke on it at this point, but while these people are still dealing with this situation, he hit below the belt. It didn't match the nature of the conversation or the argument that he was having with the man. They arguing about a basketball game, about the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Golden State Warriors. What did this man's situation with his water have to do with that? It just really just showed how low Steve can go. You know, just think about it. Steve is really like Uncle Willie, your neighbor Willie down the street, who won the lottery. Picture Willie, Mr. Willie down the street, who ain't had nothing, don't even have no car, got to catch the bus and catch rides. Just imagine he won a lottery of $400 and some million. Still the same old Willie. Just now he got money. So now he feeling himself and he don't forget where he came from. So that's Steve at this point. People talk about he's given a lot, he's done a lot. Yes, he has. He's given a lot and he's done a lot. But he has to give a lot, because anytime you make that kind of money, your financial advisors and your accountants will tell you that one of the things that you need to do to keep from giving all your money to IRS is to donate some. Okay, so he's only doing what is expected of him to do. I'm not saying Steve is a bad person. I don't dislike Steve all around. I just think that what he said was definitely in poor taste for the radio. And I'm only saying that because if he's questioning why he's getting the backlash, that's why. You know, we just got through dealing with Bill Maher making the house nigga comment. But to me, Steve's comment was much worse, because Bill Maher, at least he was talking about himself when he said what he said. At least slavery is over. But Steve Harvey was joking on this man about something that he's currently dealing with today, that everybody in Flint, Michigan is dealing with. So it's not a joking matter when people are dying from this thing. You know what I'm saying? It's just tacky and low class. And Steve is just low class. He's a low class man with money. And that's all that shows. He just went too far. He got too emotional. He was hurt and he just took it too far. Okay? It just showed his sensitivity is what it showed. And that's all I got. Like I said, I don't feel no different about Steve than I felt about him 2 years ago. It's just talking about where he was coming from. Steve says a lot of stuff, especially here lately. And that's okay. I guess he think he done made so much money. Can't nobody take nothing from him no way. He ain't hurt. He ain't gonna be hurt. Okay. All right. Whatever. But he can't get mad and question why people have something to say about what he says. Okay. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on Steve Harvey. Y'all let me know what you think about it. I know a lot of people mad with him, and I'm looking at him crazy, too. I'm like, Steve, you didn't have to say that. You didn't have to say that, Steve. That's below the belt. So, you know. Anyway, moving right along. We're almost 30 minutes into this video. Let me hurry up. The next person thing I wanted to mention, okay, Bill Cosby, you know, as of today, his trial has been declared a mistrial because they were deadlocked for the past 2 or 3 days because you had some jurors that were saying he was innocent and some jurors saying he was guilty. Which I kind of figured that was going to happen. But I also heard that they were going to retry the case. And I'm like, why? Why do you need to retry the case? I think to me, they need to leave it alone. And I'm saying they need to leave it alone, not because Bill Cosby, I think he's guilty or innocent, but because after all the stuff that I have heard and all the time that has passed, it just looks more and more like somebody is just trying to destroy Bill Cosby. This has nothing to do with anybody caring about whether those women have been raped or drugged. And I believe that they bear some responsibility, because I don't think that Bill Cosby I don't think he was a solo player in the situations with a lot of those women, because I've heard a lot of the testimonies and some of them sound suspect to me, including this last woman, this Angela Constant. And also I found out that in 2005, she had actually won money because she sued him. There was a lawsuit, something like a civil case. She won money in 2005. So why are they doubling back behind him and doing a criminal trial? Or why did they do a criminal trial after they had settled a lawsuit in 2005? I don't understand. I've never seen that happen. I'm not saying it's impossible, or that it hadn't happened, but I have never heard of that. That's kind of rare. So it just looked like to me she got what she wanted. She wanted money, but then somebody else encouraged her to open up a criminal trial. And I'm wondering if they're doing this so that these other women from 60 years ago can come up and try to get money too. This is just somebody that's trying to strip Bill Cosby. What's the lady's name? Gloria Allred. This is probably a wet dream for her. And she wants to see him destroyed. I really think that at this point they need to just stop. Okay, because the things that I have heard about this woman who's saying that she was drugged by Bill Cosby, but yet she continued to communicate with him multiple times, over 50 times by cell phone after she was supposedly drugged. Just all the things that I have heard and the facts that have come out in the case, I think that they just need to leave this situation alone at this point. If Bill Cosby was really doing what these people were saying, and he admitted to some of it, believe me, he ain't got away with nothing. I think he's been very paranoid, thinking somebody was going to poison him. I think Bill Cosby has suffered here lately enough. The mere shame of the situation, to me, is got to be hard for him. So anyway, let's move right along. But that's my thoughts on the Bill Cosby's mistrial. They say they're gonna retry it. I don't know why. They just want to keep wasting money. That man's 79 years old. Okay. Anyway. Let's see. Y'all so patient. Y'all are so patient. The next person I want to talk about, if I can find the information on her, because I did not really delve into it. I just saw the picture. Amber Rose and her burning bush. She took the picture. Practically, she was practically naked. I think she had on a bikini top, bra, whatever. And all you saw was her slightly shaven bush. Her legs were closed up real tight. And she took this picture that circulated social media. I think a lot of pages have had to take it down. And she's doing all of this stuff in the name of feminism. And I fail to see the correlation between being half naked and feminism. It looked more like hoism to me. I'm just being honest. She seems like she's the type of person that loves attention. She does. She loves attention because she's not really famous for doing anything else other than being Kanye West's girlfriend and the mother of and ex-wife of Wiz Khalifa. I don't. It's a shame that these women don't have any other talent that they have to do things like this. But nonetheless, that's her choice. If she wants to show her naked kitty cat, that's her business. My thing is, she is mad because people have talked about her negatively. They have criticized her for sharing that picture. I mean, you put your naked bush on social media for the world to see. Did you not expect, I'm talking to Amber Rose now, y'all. Girl, did you not expect somebody to talk about you? Did you think everybody was going to co-sign and think that that was okay? Look, some of us are still ladies. Some of us still have boundaries. Some of us still are decent. I mean, you can't put yourself out there like that and not expect people to talk about you to some extent, okay? She got married with Piers Morgan, the news, you know, the journalist, the newsman, about talking about, I don't know exactly what he said, but it wasn't favorable. I mean, what did she expect? If you can put yourself out there like that, we got the right to talk about you favorably or unfavorably. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. Girl, they talked about Jesus Christ, so who are you? And he was a perfect man, so who are you that can't nobody talk about you for showing your naked behind on social media? I mean, really. Seriously. I mean, everybody knows that Amber Rose's cat got 9 lives. That thing done been everywhere. I'm sorry, but from what I've heard and from what I've read and what she has admittedly said out of her own mouth, it's been around. It's got 9 lives, y'all. So she just needs to get over that. People gonna talk. Ain't nothing you can do. You can't call that slut shaming if you're being a slut and people say something about it. You cannot call that slut shaming. I mean, if you're admitted telling everybody you're a slut, in my opinion, you should be shamed. But whatever. I mean, you do you, girl. Do you. So, yeah, I thought that was interesting that she would put her burning bush on social media and then expect people not to criticize her about it. I just, what was she thinking? I don't even know. Okay, moving right along from that, because we've been on here 35 minutes now. Kenya Moore, she claims she done got married. I'm like, to who? Who Kenya Moore married to? Well, let's just see. Let's see who she's supposed to be married to. I can't even believe it. Y'all, I'm pulling up my stuff because I get a lot of stuff on Twitter, honey. If you ever want to know the real deal, go to Twitter. Hold on. Let's see who Kenya supposedly married. I forget his name. I heard he was a scam artist, y'all. And he looked like it in that picture I saw. Let's see. All right. This was on the Ricky Smiley page, the article that I saw. But you know what? I ain't going to believe Kenya Moore married until I see her marriage license. Now, not that I care. I don't care if she married or not, but I'm going to need to see a marriage license with her real name and not Donald Duck at the bottom of it. But yeah, she supposedly married this man. And I forget his name. But she was in St. Lucia with friends and family. This was supposed to be a very private matter. There was supposed to be no cameras. But it's mighty funny that the paparazzi showed up in St. Lucia for something that was supposed to be secret and private between her and her family and friends. And if I know Kenya like what I know from watching her on Real Housewives, she set this thing up. You know, it ain't nothing for her to pay somebody to play a role for her. We know that, okay? Some mystery man, but they have revealed the man's name, and I cannot think of what it is at the very moment. Somebody I never heard of. He's got a background in finances, like he used to work for some finance company or whatever, but I heard he was a crook, to say the least. But me knowing Kenya from TV, I don't know her, but I wouldn't be surprised if this is some storyline for Real Housewives, because we already know she doesn't really have much of a storyline. I heard that they are getting ready to start filming, if they have not started, for season 10. They always start around June and July. And she needed a storyline. It's mighty coincidental that she would be doing this. She said that this man is somebody she'd been knowing for over a year, but they had been dating for some months. Matt Jordan has since come out, and the guy, the crazy dude that she had been going with, the younger guy that's too young for her, too young for me, and she had the audacity to date him. He said he knows she was cheating on him, and he's so hurt about it. He can't lie. He's shook about this situation. I don't know why. But anyway, so they showed a picture, and you guys have probably seen the pictures of her marrying this man, this mystery man. No, y'all can't see it. The light's too bright. There's a picture. Y'all go to Twitter. Go to Ricky Smiley's page. Not Twitter, but go to Ricky Smiley's page and do a search for Kenya Moore, and they show somebody had to be hiding in the bushes taking pictures, okay? So anyway, y'all know how Kenya is. It would not surprise me if this marriage ain't even legal, and that she's actually doing this for a storyline. It would not, especially with Nene coming back too. I just don't see it. What y'all think? But if she is married, if she's found the love of her life, congratulations, Kenya. Congratulations, girl. Yeah. Okay. So, you already know. I wonder if Matt's going to show up on that next season. Y'all think so? If she's smart and if she needs a storyline, she bring him back a little bit too. It's business, honey. It's business. All right. I was reading an article last week. I actually brought this up on my radio show this past Wednesday. Wale, you know the rapper. Wale, little short, 4'11", 5'1" rapper Wale. I was reading, and of course I don't know if it's true or not. All I can go by is what somebody has said about him. Supposedly, according to Media Takeout, people say Media Takeout lies and makes up stories, but I have found that a lot of stuff that's been told on Media Takeout is true. It may not be 100% true, but a lot of it is true. A shock claim, rapper Wale, they say he asked the dark-skinned girls now to leave the VIP section and gave the seats to the light-skinned girls, okay? So according to Media Takeout News, this was released, this article was posted on June 13th. He says, we've heard reports that rapper Wale has a preference for the lighter-skinned females, but this story is just crazy. 2 dark-skinned black women had VIP wristbands as associates of Wale, so he knew them already, and he gave them these VIP passes to attend his recent Unplugged concert in Washington, D.C., and at first, things seemed great. One lady said we were given red wristbands while the majority were given blue, and we were told that we were VIP and personally escorted to our seat, which was the best seat in the house, in my opinion, which was an elevated plush brown leather love seat that said reserved with an ideal view of the stage, and we were ecstatic. But then she said things quickly went left. She said over the course of about an hour, the same young lady who sat us told us a total of 3 times that we had to move. And she told us this without any explanation. Each time, though, she would get distracted and the move never actually happened. Finally, we noticed a security guard whom we befriended while standing outside approached 2 young ladies sitting about 10 feet away closer to the stage to tell them that they had to switch seats with us. The security guard basically forced them to move, after which we had to give up our plush brown leather sofa to sit in seats that barely accommodated 1 butt cheek, much less 2. As we crossed paths with the 2 young ladies, we looked at each other like, what is this about? Then my homegirl made a statement that set the tone for the rest of the night. And she said to me, it's because I'm not light-skinned. And there's more. It says 3 minutes later, the same security guard whispered in our ear, I'm sorry, but y'all have to move. He could see in our faces that our cooperative spirit was quickly vanishing. So we turned to our right and saw 2 light-skinned girls standing there waiting to take our seats. 2 girls who waltzed into the venue late with blue wristbands, which meant that they were not VIP, which meant they were not associates of Wale, but they had that look that clearly Wale's team wanted for the cameras. After an intense and passionate exchange of words with the security guard who claimed to understand our emotion but was just doing his job, we got up, humiliated, frustrated, confused, and disrespected. Not only did we have to give up our seats a second time, but we didn't get seats at all. She said, yes, people, we had to stand for the rest of the night. And here is a picture of a woman. I hope y'all can see. She's an attractive, I guess you would call her dark skin woman. Can y'all see that? I'm trying to show you. This is one of the women that he put out. It looks like she had some dreads or something, but this is her. Okay? That she said he put her out of the event. You know, I don't know if this is true or not. I don't know if they lied. I can't see why they would lie. But who knows? People do lie. But if this is true, Wale, what are you thinking? Dude, you 5 feet tall. Now, what if you were at somebody's concert and the ladies told you you had to move because you were too short. What if they said all men under 5'10 or 5'11 had to move to the back of the room, and everybody, all the tall men, gets to sit in your seat? Now, what if they did that? How would you feel? How would he feel, y'all, if somebody did him like that? He knee-high to a nightstand. And he gonna have the unmitigated gall to act like that if this is true. And I'm not surprised, because I've heard stories like this before things like this go on. They were saying that, I was reading another article, that they were, like I said, getting ready to film as if it's a video, and they did not want, they wanted people that look good on camera to be on the camera. And I think I stated this in this article. That's petty, and it's kind of low down, and it's hurtful. It's a shame that people still on this colorism kick in 2017, and him being black as an ace of spades, because he's not a light-skinned man, y'all. Y'all know what Wale looks like, and he had the unmitigated gall to handle some women like that, women that's supposed to be associates of his. I'm shocked at you, Wale. I'm real shocked. And here's a picture of him. I hope y'all can see that. It's kind of dark, but here's his mug shot right here. Yeah. A lot of nerves he's got there. So, yeah, these people be doing all kind of crazy stuff. Ain't no telling what you might hear about these days. Anyway, moving right along. Philando Castille. Of course, we know the murdering cop, the man that shot him 7 times when he was trying to reach for the identification that the police officer himself had asked him to get. Of course, he was acquitted. I don't know why people thought it was going to be any different. It's sad, of course, and I'm glad that they at least tried to try the case, or tried to get him. But we should have known it was going to be like this. The whole Department of Justice, the whole criminal justice system needs to be overhauled. It basically does. They need to totally overhaul the whole justice system. It's a sad shame, and I feel sorry for his family, because they were very upset and emotional when the verdict was read. This police officer, with his lying self, because he told several lies, he's going home to his family. But Philando Castille couldn't go home to his, and his family had to deal with the reality that their brother, their uncle, their cousin, her son, the lady's son, is dead. And nobody is being held accountable for it. But I just want to assure people, y'all don't get discouraged, because nobody gets away with anything. If that man shot him in malice, if he was shooting him, because we all know that the police these days are pretty much trained to annihilate black men. They target these black men. This is no coincidence. This is no accident that these many black men and women are being killed by the policemen. It is actually part of the plan. This is part of their plan to try to keep black people subjugated in this system. And I'm not one of these people that's always, like I said in a previous video, I'm not one of these people that always claim racism and all that. That ain't what I do, but some things are obvious. Some things are obvious, and you cannot deny some of this stuff that is actually going on. They target them. We know they target them. So in reality, what that man did to Philando Castille, even though we know morally it was wrong, God see it. Like I said, he ain't getting away with nothing. And if he's had malice in his heart, he's going to pay for it. I hope he don't get a moment's rest. I hope the devil ride him all night, like the old people say. I hope the devil keeps that police officer up all night, like he can't get no sleep. I hope he just scares him and taunts him and haunts him in his sleep, boy. He can't rest. Just like I hope that's what's happening to George Zimmerman. I hope these people that have killed these innocent black people they can't rest at night. I hope the devil run them literally crazy. Okay? Because that's what they deserve to have happen. They deserve to be tormented day in and day out for what they have done. But these police officers that are doing this, they're not really breaking any police law. They're not breaking any law. So why do we expect them to be prosecuted and held responsible or held accountable? They're not breaking any law. They're doing exactly what they have been instructed, literally instructed to do. If y'all remember the white lady that shot Terrence Crutcher, was it last year or year before last, the lady shot him? If y'all remember, her husband and some other guy was in a helicopter up above them, telling her to kill this man. This man had done nothing wrong. They lied on the man, planted drugs on the man, And yeah, and she was following the instruction from her husband, who was a fellow police officer up in a helicopter, telling her this thing here is mad and he looks crazy. So is it far-fetched to believe that the guy that killed Philando Castille, the guy that killed Michael Brown, or the guy that shot Walter Scott, and so forth and so on, that they have been directly instructed to do this? I really believe that they have been instructed by their superiors and by their group, their secret league of police officers, to actually kill black men. It's no coincidence. They're doing it on purpose. So he isn't breaking the law. He isn't doing anything wrong by their standards. So until you get some policies changed, even when they lie and they prove that they lie, they're not getting in trouble. So I think if you can't get them criminally, we need to be trying to sue the city, suing the police department. Then they harass the folks when they try to do that, but I think they still should do it. They sue the city, sue the police department, get them on whatever you can get them on, the line, the perjury, and all these things. They need to be gotten on this stuff. But like I said, they ain't gonna get no rest, because I'm gonna pray they don't get no rest, okay, for what they're doing. It's wrong, and they know they wrong, but they don't care. These people are heartless and cruel, you know. Well, anyway, that is just some of the news that I came across this week. There's been so many things. We all know about the shooting in Alexandria, Virginia, at this annual baseball game. How the guy came up and he shot Scalise, the senator or the Congressman Scalise man. He shot him, and how those two black guys, the two black Capitol policemen, the female and the male, actually took a bullet and they actually shot the guy, the white guy that shot Scalise, because he hates Trump and he hates the Republicans, which I thought that was very interesting. It was something I wanted to say about that Scalise, the Scalise man now. One of the reasons why he was so hated by the white guy that shot him, there was some breaking news that came out across my desk Friday. It said Steve Scalise, the House Majority Whip, the man that was shot, the one that's currently fighting for his life, was shot by a gunman who attacked a congressional baseball practice on this past Wednesday. This man, Steve Scalise, the one that's in the hospital, has kept company with racists. It says he was forced to apologize for speaking at an international conference of white supremacists, and reportedly referred to himself as David Duke without the baggage. Following Scalise's shooting, David Duke praised him for defending white civil rights. And I think this was in some news outlet called The Fusion. So this Scalise man ain't nothing but white trash. He white trash. That's what he is. He's white trash, and another white man was the vindicator for him. He came and he got him. Now, I don't condone anybody killing anybody, but or trying to kill anybody, but his hate got him shot. See, what a lot of white people don't fail to realize, or what they don't think about, is that not all white people feel the same way that they do. Not all white people harbor hate for minorities like they do. The one I'm talking about, the hate for white people. Not, they think that all white people feel the same way that they do, and that all white people are going to uphold them in their mess. Not so. Contraire, mon frere. This one right here did not like him. He hates him. Like I said, he's a liberal, supposedly a Democrat or whatever. But he hates him, and he hates Donald Trump. So that's why he did. So it's hard for me to feel sorry for this Scalise man. Like I said, I don't condone that at all. But I feel sorry for a man that rubs noses with white supremacists and racists, and that speaks up for, according to David Duke, defending white civil rights? No, I don't really feel sorry for him. Not at all. I feel sorry for his soul. I feel sorry for his soul. But I ain't concerned about his body right now. But I'm concerned about his soul. And this is just, I'm sorry, I just don't feel sorry for people that hate other people. I mean, if you live by the sword, you'll die by the sword. That's just, anyway, y'all tell me what y'all think about these subject matters. I talked about Steve Harvey, Amber Rose, Kenya Moore, Wale. I talked about Bill Cosby, Philando Castille, of course. Y'all let me know what y'all think. And I also found out we finally got an update on the Black Panther movie. It is supposed to be coming out or released on February 16th of 2018. Yep, we've got to wait 8 more months. So that must gonna be a good one, y'all. I expect it to be awesome. It's supposed to be groundbreaking. A lot of time and thought and work has gone into making this movie, and it's supposed to be one of a kind. Marvel Comics is supposed to be one of the biggest movies that Marvel Comics has ever put out. They say they put quite a few $100 million into the budget. So that tells you into this they have never done this with a practically all black cast. Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna do some research on the Black Panther because I really want to know more about him before the movie comes out. I got 8 months. Y'all think I got time? I think I got time. But yeah, I want to learn more and more about him. But yeah, they spent they had a budget of multiple $100 millions. Never in history has this been done for an all-black casted movie, y'all. So anyway, I think that's all I want to talk about that I wanted to mention on this particular video. I can't be on here all night, y'all. It's been almost an hour. I have talked enough, more than enough. But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think. If there's any kind of article or any story that y'all want me to mention or bring up, please shoot me a message, because you can, of course, message me here on YouTube. I just found that out the other day. Let me know, because I want to talk about it, y'all. And be sure to check me out every Wednesday on the Tracy Larkin Broadcast Network. That's an internet radio station. Listen at my show. It's called Fair Play. It runs from 7 to 9. I play great music, and I talk about, kind of like this, talk about what's going on in the blogs and in the news and whatnot. Yeah, let's get on that. Y'all check me out 7 to 9 p.m. Central. And all you have to do is download the TuneIn app. There's also another app called the XIA Live app, and you might be able to pull it up. I'm not sure on iHeartRadio, but anyway, it's TLBN, the Tracy Larkin Broadcast Network, and 7 to 9 on Wednesday nights. Fair Play is the name of my show. Yep. So y'all check me out. All right, it's been real, y'all. Thanks for clicking on the link. Click like, share, subscribe. Make sure you click on the notification so you can get when I'm on here. I want to be on here more often, and I'm going to try to do that, but I do work a lot. So like I said, I have to get on here when I can, but I'm going to at least try to make it regular. So anyway, thank you for listening. I'll talk to you later. See you later. Bye-bye.